I've come here today to announce my candidacy for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. My mission over the next 18 months of this campaign and throughout my presidency will be to end the corrupt merger of state and corporate power that is threatening now to impose a new kind of corporate feudalism on our country, to commoditize our children, our Purple Mountain's majesty, to poison our children and our people with chemicals and pharmaceutical drugs, to strip mine our assets, to hollow out the middle class, and keep us in a constant state of war. My father, just before he died, told me very sadly, people in authority lie. And the government now lies to us. We all know it. We take it for granted. When my uncle left office when he died in 1963, about 80% of Americans said they trusted their government. Today, 22% trust their government, and 22% trust the press, the lowest level ever. The media is at the lowest neither, because we know the media lies to us now, and everybody knows that. Americans look for other sources because they know they're being lied to, and they look for other sources of the truth. And when the media and the corporate captive media and the corporate captive government sees other sources of truth, they have to brand those misinformation, because they threaten their paradigm. They threaten that orthodoxy. And of course, there is a lot of genuine misinformation, but as we know, a lot of the misinformation is just statements that depart from government orthodoxy, so they have to either censor us or they have to lie about what's true and what's not true. And that amplifies the polarization. It amplifies the hatred, the fear, the insecurity, because you know you're being lied to and then you're being silenced. The censorship doesn't work from any point of view, and it's very, very dangerous. If we want to meet our obligation as a generation, as a civilization, as a nation, which is to create communities for our children that provide them with the same opportunities for dignity and enrichment and prosperity and good health as the communities that our parents gave us, we've got to start by protecting our environmental infrastructure, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the wildlife, the fisheries, the public lands, those things that are not reducible to private property, but by their nature are the property of all of us, the commons, the commonwealth, the public trust assets, the landscapes, the waterways that connect us to the 10,000 generations of human beings that lived before there were laptops, and that ultimately connect us to God. And God talks to human beings through many vectors, through each other, through organized religion, through the great books of those religions, through wise people, through art and music and literature and poetry, but nowhere with such detail and grace and color and joy as through creation. In the end of the Revolution and the ratification of the Constitution, in 9 years, there were epidemics in every city that killed tens of thousands of people. Cholera epidemics, smallpox epidemics in Philadelphia, New York, Boston, etc., malaria epidemics. They knew all about it, but they didn't put that in the Constitution. The Constitution was built for hard times. It doesn't matter how bad the crisis is, you cannot do it. It's the Constitution. It's the heart and soul of our country. And all I'm saying is, you need a president at this time in history who can stand up to his bureaucracy. bureaucrats, the bureaucracies are owned by the industries. I'm talking about, NIH and E.P.A. and CDC and FDA and DOT. A train track wreck would not have happened in East Palestine except we have a captive agency at DOT. Our food is terrible because the food companies and the pesticide companies own USDA. We're in constant wars because the military-industrial complex, the big contractors, own CIA. The government announced that it is going to drop Medicare for up to 15 million Americans. The same month, the government announced that it is printing $300 billion extra dollars to pay off the Silicon Valley Bank, to bail it out. And we announced, the Biden administration announced 750 additional millions of dollars that we're going to send to the Ukraine. So we have money for wars, and we have money for bankers that need bailouts. But what happens to the American people when they are on hard times? Shouldn't we have compassion for them? My uncle came into office 2 months later. He was fighting his intelligence apparatus, his military, because they wanted to invade. They wanted to do the Bay of Pigs. He was totally against it, and he let them roll over him. And in the middle of the Bay of Pigs, he realized they were lying to him, and he realized the function of the intelligence agencies had become to provide the military-industrial complex with a constant pipeline of war. And he came out during the middle of the night during the Bay of Pigs catastrophe, and he said, I want to take the CIA. Alan Dulles had lied to him, Charles Cabell, Richard Bissell, Louis Lemitzer, Curtis LeMay had all lied to him through their teeth. And he said, I want to take the CIA and shatter it into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds. And I'm going to bring the troops home, and I am going to start... I'm going to close the bases, and I'm going to start investing in the United States middle class in our country, and I'm going to make us an exemplary democracy again. We need to stand up to corporations. We need to stand against war. We need to put our children first. We need to stop listening to the large corporations. In many ways, and that's what a Kennedy Democrat is. We need to bring this party back to the party of FDR, of JFK, of RFK, of Martin Luther King, and those values. My father, when he came back one time from the Delta, he said, we were all at the dinner table when he came in, and he said, I was in a tar paper shack today. It was smaller than this dining room, and there were 2 families living there, and the children get 1 meal a day. And when you get older, I want you to help those people. And when we would go into Southeast Washington or Appalachia, he would say to us, these are your people. These are Kennedy people. He said, the other people, the big shots, the corporations, the millionaires don't need the Kennedys. They have lobbyists, they have PR firms, they have lawyers. And he said, these are your people, and these are the people you need to spend your life helping. And when I'm president, I'm going to be president for those people. We're going to really take back this country. You give me a piece of ground and a sword, and I am going to take back this country with your help, the help of all the homeless Republicans and Democrats and independents who are Americans first. Thank you all very much.